G'day, it's Pete here, and I'm here with my captain Ben Thompson because Juz is away over in the European Championship. But we're here to do our journey to the Bermuda Bowl and talk about what's been going on in the last month. So,
hi everybody,
yeah,
good to be here.
Yeah, it is. So we've just been away in Seoul for the APBF, the Pacific Asia Championship. So how did we actually go?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. Traditionally, Australian teams start slowly and finish strongly, and we were a very traditional Australian team in that. With I think one match to go in the first round robin, we were running 10th out of 15.
Yeah, not the best.
Wasn't ideal, no, but we nearly won the second round robin, and if we'd done that in the first round robin as well, we would have won the event. There are a lot of theories about why Australian teams often put in that kind of performance. I think it's because in Australia we're used to playing Swiss qualifying and then qualifying for finals. So you don't necessarily have to play that well at the start of our Swiss tournaments. It's really more important how you play at the end. And we're so used to that, we kind of fall into that trap.
Yeah, so slow starts are a bit of how our tournament structure's set up.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe we should change our tournament structures here.
Yeah, well, they're pretty popular, so we don't necessarily need to do that. But what should we actually change for when we're at these round robins to...
Sure. Well, it's really important, in my experience, to come out firing in these things. Certainly when I was on the Australian youth team, going back...
Nice little...
Just a few years ago. Yeah. Well, no, I'm just trying to point out that I was young once. Yeah. So we used to go away for a week before the tournament and work hard. We played practice matches, we played sometimes little tournaments, we did all the coaching stuff, and as a result, when we turned up, we were ready to go, and we came out of the blocks firing every single time. And that really helps. If you get the runs on the board early in a round robin, you're hard to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As evidenced by us trying to catch the field and not.
Yeah. Now, another way to look at it is that I did some seeding before I went in, and we were seeded 7th based on World Bridge Federation rankings out of a field of 15, and we finished 7th. So on that measure, we just performed to our seeding.
Yeah.
Disappointing, but there it is.
Yeah. But no, it's good to see that we actually came good, I guess, in the second round robin. Actually played well. It's pretty tough to keep a team together when they're really struggling at the start. But I never felt like the team morale was actually poor or anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's very hard to come back from a bad start, and we did. So that's a good point for us and something we can hang on to for Lyon.
Yeah. And hopefully we can just remove the bad start from the picture.
Absolutely.
But some people might not know, what is a captain?
A captain is really... Well, cut this. It does look like it's cushy from the outside, but...
it's a free holiday, right?
It's free holiday, yeah. So let me tell you, in Seoul, I did 0 sightseeing, and I expect in Lyon I will do close to 0 sightseeing. Yeah. If you're doing captaincy properly, then you're probably working at least as hard as the team. Going in, I analysed all the systems of all of our opponents. I had a look at their playing styles. I formed some views about which of our pairs would line up best against which other pairs and which other systems. At the event, there's a whole lot of paperwork to take care of, a surprisingly large amount of paperwork to take care of, not just the lineups, but also administrative stuff around the place. And if you're doing the job properly, you want to be on top of who's playing well in the other teams, who's playing well on your team, who's feeling strong, who's not feeling strong. You can also predict who's going to be sitting where and when on the other sides. And if you can do that, you can give yourself just a tiny advantage. So as a captain, really the only advantage you can offer to your team is a bit of preparation and a few 1%ers along the way. So you're there, do the work to try and get that 1%. That's the view I took.
So what do you actually do to like choose who actually plays with who? What do you look for in the opponents playing or anything like that?
Oh, okay. So sometimes it's system. Some people feel more comfortable against simple systems, some against more complicated systems. Some people feel more comfortable against passive players, some against more active players. So I know a bunch of the players from the Asian zone and a bunch of the players from elsewhere in the world.
Yeah.
And I know their styles. You can tell from their systems if it's complicated or straightforward. So, that was part of my early planning, was trying to figure out who I thought would match up better with certain pairs, certain systems, and then trying to arrange to do that.
Yeah, cool. So after that, Justin and I also did some review of some of the hands that we actually went over. So bring up some of them. What we found out was we had agreements about different situations, but they were a little bit vague. So brought up a couple of situations that we reviewed. So this first one went 3 spades, and Justin bid 3 no trumps, and then it went double. Now, what we'd agreed is redouble is business. I want to play here. And question is, do I want to redouble here? Because looking at my hand, I got 10 points, which is fantastic. I know we got points to be there, but I was worried about my 2 little diamonds, and I thought maybe the opponents could run diamonds or something like that. So I was hesitant, and I actually passed. And we played 3 no trump doubled. Juz chose really well to actually pass 3 no doubled. But what we actually did was discuss and say that, okay, so redouble is to actually play, but what do we want to have that as? So we just set an agreement that we've got 8 or more points, we've got enough points to be here. And this means that if you pass, then your partner can actually run more freely or be more worried about.
Knowing your shorter values.
Yeah.
It's good to be clear about more detail in your agreement in that situation, I think.
Yeah. And we also discussed what if Juz redoubled, because that, we said, is showing doubt, because there's not much point saying, I had my 3 no trump bid, and I'm still really sure I got my 3 no trump bid. So that we have as, I've got some doubt, but then we had to discuss what sort of doubt would that actually be, because that's something that people don't actually discuss if they play this sort of convention.
Yeah, that sparked a lot of discussion in Seoul in a lot of different teams. It's a very interesting situation.
Yeah. So we actually just agreed that the redouble by the 3 no trump bidder is, I have doubt that I've actually got a stopper. Like, I might have bid this on half a stopper. So I want you to run if you've got no help for me in the suit that they've actually bid.
Right. Yeah, very sensible agreement. And it's better to be clear about that sort of thing. There's a lot of situations where you can dig deeper. For example, when you do a lightning double, a double for a lead. Sabine Orkin very famously wrote that she thinks a double should call for a specific lead, not just lead the right thing. It's like in this situation, I want a spade lead or I want a heart lead. And it means that you don't double as often, but when you do, you always get it right. You don't have accidents.
Yeah. Avoiding accidents is good.
Yeah. It's a lot of winning bridge.
And assuming that you won't always guess right is actually really important.
Yeah.
But that was one hand that we came up with an agreement. The next one was another one where we had a bit of conventions here. So I opened a heart as south and just bid a spade as north. And here we played a form of Gazilia convention where 2 clubs said, one of the options was that I was an invitational hand. I didn't need to beat that. And then just said, I would accept an invite. I've got a good hand for me with this 2 diamond bid. And then I bid 2 spades, which we said is, I had that invitational plus hand. We're now in a game force, and I've got some spades for you. But what we hadn't clarified is this 3 cards or 4 cards? Now, it looks like I'd shown 4 card spade support. So we actually played in spades, and we played far too high and lost a game swing here. But we now clarified this agreement that 2 spades was a 3 card support, and 3 spades was 4 card support. Now, the reason that was a bit awkward was I was worried, should I bid 3 diamonds over the 2 diamonds? He might not ever show his 5th spade, then we lose this, and never actually get our spade fit. So we had agreed that we were in a game force and I had spades, but we hadn't actually got down to, can I do this with 3 or not?
Yeah, how many spades?
Yeah. So we've gone through, reviewed some of this from like the bottom up, looking at specific situations and sort of just adding that little extra detail into our, like, it wasn't that we were without agreement, we were without detailed enough agreement, I'd say.
Yeah.
And the first one we got away with, the second one we got punished for, but it's important to go through and check out these boards where we can add in a little bit more agreement.
Yeah, it's always a development experience. You know, there's always some gap in your methods that always crops up, so learn when you can.
And then you've also been reviewing the datums for sort of a more broader approach to this. So what have you actually been doing?
Yeah, so I always like to take a top-down view as well. So I got all the datums and all the scores from Sol, and for our team, I divided up all the datums basically into 3 types of hands: part scores, games, and slams, and had a look in detail at how all 3 of our pairs went on those 3 types of hands.
Yeah.
And also looked at it by a round robin. Mm-hmm. So good news for you. You guys were pretty good across both round robins. Yes. You were pretty good across all 3 types of hands. The thing worth looking at, I thought, for you was that in the second round robin, you were negative on the game hands. So, you know, I haven't broken it down yet into games that you play versus games that you defend. So there might be something there. But, you know, step 1, I think, would be to dig out all those hands, which is easy enough to do. The data's all online. Yeah. And have a look and see if you can pick up a theme. Yeah. See if there's a general consistent mistake that we're making. And yeah, maybe. It may have just been that you guys got tied in the second round robin. And, look, you know, we talked about this at the event, that honestly, almost every pair making their debut in the Open team for Australia struggles. And I personally would have been pleased if you had run any positive overall datum at all. And you did much better than that. So that was a real bonus to the team, real positive. That was something you're proud of. But, you know, it's a long, hard event. It is very tiring. And the APBF in particular, with a schedule that runs from 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. for a week in a row, it's brutal. It really is. So, long days. And it's tough bridge. It's not like you're turning up and tossing cards around. You're actually playing hard bridge against some of the best pairs in the world. Yeah. And a bunch of world champions included. So it's tough. So it's understandable that got a little tired in the second round robin and maybe let a few things slip that you wouldn't have and didn't in the first round robin. Worth having a look at. Yeah. Worth thinking about. Anyway, that's a bit of a review of what we've done while we're away, how we've looked at it, seen what mistakes we've done, Ben's help, and also what he's been doing while he's over there, what a captain actually does. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this journey to the bowl. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Glad to join you.